Hello and welcome to the Cryptid Iceberg Part 14, where I cover mysterious animals that science doesn't recognize. In this video, we'll be continuing the 9th layer of the iceberg. As always, if you haven't seen the previous videos, I'll link them in the description. The yellow belly is a species of sea serpent first proposed by cryptozoologist Bernard Heuvelmans. It's described as a fish at least 60 feet or 18 meters in length with a tadpole-shaped body. It's named after its yellow coloration, and it also is described as having black stripes. Its most well-known sighting came in 1876, when the ship the Nestor spotted a large yellow and black animal with no fins. Cryptozoologist Dale Drinan later suggested that it could be a shark similar to the whale shark with a longer tail. The tapir iara, or onca de agua, is a cryptid from South America first reported by Jacques Cousteau. He said that it was described as a forest spirit that patrolled the flooded areas of the Amazon jungle. Naturalist Cy Montgomery described it growing as big as a cow and attacking people in boats. Some descriptions also claim that it has long droopy ears. The huaychibo is described as a half-human, half-goat-like creature in Mexico. It's said to be extremely dangerous to humans and has been blamed for the death of livestock. In 2015, remains of a goat-like creature were found and thought to be the huaychibo by locals. One eyewitness recalled a story from when he was a child and saw it late at night. The creature charged straight at him and he had to jump out of its way. Older legends of it describe it as a shape-shifting human with the ability to transform into multiple animals. The kumi lizard is a New Zealand cryptid that's described as a large arboreal or tree-dwelling lizard. Estimated at about 1.5 meters or 6 feet long, one of the first reports was from a man in the wilderness who saw it run into a hole by a tree. When he called others to the tree, they found footprints larger than a man's hand. Local Maoris said that it resembled their legends of large, 12-foot or 4-meter long lizards that had curved teeth. They also said that it made a peculiar drum-like noise. A photograph of an unidentified animal from Brunei was uploaded to a nature website in 2013. It had been caught by somebody who was fishing, and the uploader was looking for the identity of it, but nobody could figure out what it was. Theories on what the animal are range from an anomalocarid, a type of trilobite beetle, or a yet unknown type of invertebrate. The African freshwater octopus is an unusual cryptid reported from parts of western and central Africa. If you remember the Oklahoma octopus segment, all known species of octopus have to live in saltwater. The earliest reports of the cryptid come from the late 1890s, when French explorer Raymond Montrosier collected legends of octopus-like animals in the Central African Republic and Benin. Although he believed that they were sensationalized, he thought that a real animal was behind them. Later accounts would come from even more countries, including a sighting of a bioluminescent octopus. Haast's eagle was a large eagle native to New Zealand believed to have gone extinct in the 1400s. There were a number of sightings of Haast's eagle-like birds hundreds of years after in the 1800s. Charles Douglas, a notable explorer of New Zealand, claimed to have shot and eaten 2 large raptors. He measured them at about 8.3 and 6.5 feet, or 2.5 and 2 meters long. Johann Haast, the man who first inspected the fossils and the man the bird was named after, is also believed to have seen the bird. He described seeing a large eagle flying in the mountains. On another occasion, he said that one walked into his tent, apparently attracted by a fire at his camp. The passenger pigeon was once a very widespread bird in North America, before it went extinct in the wild in the year 1900, and the last specimen died in a zoo in 1914. In 1929, a scientist from the University of Michigan and his companion were hunting in Michigan's Upper Peninsula. Suddenly, the companion, who had seen passenger pigeons when he was younger, spotted what he thought was a passenger pigeon. The scientist turned and only briefly saw the bird fly away, though he did think it resembled the passenger pigeon. After the species was extinct in the wild, but before the last specimens went extinct in zoos, President Theodore Roosevelt saw a small wild flock. After seeing it, he stated that nothing could have compelled him to shoot them. The Amila natuka is a horned cryptid from Central Africa. The first report of one comes from the 1930s, when one was reportedly killed. Another report talks about a hunter shooting one and even taking a picture, but he didn't release the picture out of fear of retaliation for poaching. It's usually described to be the size of an elephant with thick legs and a large, singular horn. It lives in the water, sometimes leaving the water to feed on plants. While it is an herbivore, it has been said to kill elephants, hippos, and buffaloes that invade its territory. It's also said to make a wide variety of loud noises. The cryptid is usually thought to be a type of semi-aquatic rhino, an Arsinoitherium, or a surviving ceratopsian dinosaur. The eastern cougar was a debated subspecies of mountain lions once found throughout the eastern United States. Basically, scientists weren't sure if it was a subspecies or just the same species of mountain lion in the western US. Regardless, they were declared extinct in 2011, however they have been believed to be extinct since the 1930s. There have been thousands of reports of them in the eastern half of the United States after that. These include plaster casts, photos of tracks, and even videos. A few cougars have been found in the eastern half of the United States, however when examined they turn out to be specimens from the western half or Florida, where a small group survived. Instead of being from a population of cougars in the east, they're just cougars that wandered over. In 1967, a pair of snake-like sea serpents were observed by helicopter pilots from the ship Sovetskaya Rossiya. This sighting was in the Southern Ocean near Antarctica. The serpents were described as 15 meters or 49 feet in length and about 1 meter or 3 feet in width, with light brown skin. They moved with convulsive serpentine motions. Vessels in the area were warned about the animals, as people thought that they could be a threat to shipping. They were also seen hunting pods of whales. The Dark Watchers are odd entities reported from California. They look like very large humanoid silhouettes. Travelers describe them standing on top of mountains and peering down at them. Reports of the Dark Watchers go back to when Spanish settlers traveled to the region. They called them Los Vigilantes Oscuros. During the year 1910, a population of wild moose were released into Fiordland, New Zealand for hunting purposes. By 1952, they were believed to have gone extinct. Since then, there have been occasional reports of living moose in the area. In 1995, a series of photos were taken that allegedly showed a moose. In 2001, a hair was found that was DNA tested and confirmed to have been from a moose. In 2020, a helicopter was flying over the Dusky Sound region and sighted a moose. Biologist William Beebe recorded a sighting of a cryptid called the Anutume while in southwest Guyana. He described it as a very large, ruddy-colored big cat. He had found out about the animal from a local hunter. Beebe also heard reports of another cryptid feline called the Wathamaku. It was only described as being large with a dark fur and some light markings. Thermozodium masaki is an alleged species of water bear, a very small organism. It was only reported once in Nagasaki, Japan during 1937. A German scientist had found a specimen in a hot spring. It's believed that the specimen was never preserved, as that was the standard for zoology at the time. Since the initial finding of the water bear, another specimen has yet to be located, leaving the existence of the species in doubt. Naturalist Samuel Tickle reported seeing an orangutan in the jungles of India during the early 1800s. All known species of orangutan live in Indonesia or Malaysia, though they previously lived in parts of Southeast Asia until around 10,000 BC. Henry Piddington thought that the sighting may have actually been of the Bandar log, another cryptid I covered previously. Venetian physician Prospero Alpini once claimed that a species of bear inhabited Egypt. He said that it was not larger than a sheep, of a whitish color, and more easily tamed and less fierce than European bears. The classical historian Herodotus also claimed that there were rare bears in Egypt. Bernard Heuvelmans believed that they could have been a population of the Syrian brown bear, since they had lighter fur and were close to Egypt. As for how easily tamed they were, Wojtek, a Syrian brown bear, famously served in the Polish army during World War II. The Curupira is a hominid cryptid from Brazil. It's described as very small, only about 3 feet or 0.9 meters tall, and it's said to be covered in red or orange hair and live in trees. They're also said to have a shaggy mane and a large mouth full of green or blue teeth. Some reports of them also describe the Curupira riding different animals, usually a peccary. It's sometimes been connected to the theory that the Mapinguari is a primate, especially since both the Mapinguari and the Curupira are both said to leave backward-facing footprints. The pig genie is a hominid cryptid reported from the Central African Republic. They're said to herd groups of pigs through the forest by riding them. If a pig didn't allow a pig genie to ride it, the genies would then chase it to a human hunter's trap. They would also dance around fires with human hunters. Cryptozoologists have speculated that the pig genies were living Australopithecines, a kind of archaic human, or a bipedal chimpanzee. Sprout Lake in British Columbia, Canada is allegedly home to a cryptid. A sighting of them occurred in April of 1987. Writer John Kirk's family and a friend saw two large black humps swimming parallel with the shore for about a minute at the northern end of the lake. There are also pictographs depicting an unknown creature known in the rest of the province as a Naitaka at Sprout Lake. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video and would like to help me out, check out my Patreon linked in the description. I'll also have links to my other social media pages there too. That's all for this video. I will see you in the next one.